This is the Blix Vika. Kind of a cute name on this. It's a folding electric bike. Blix is just starting here in America in 2015. This bike is actually engineered by a Scandinavian group that's been serving the market in Europe since 2006. So they've got some good experience in actually providing frames that work, that have been tested, batteries, using the right drive systems and setting things up like this quick disconnect. I get the impression that even though it's a relatively new company, the bike, it's well thought out, I guess, fairly durable. Now this is more of a, entry price point bike. It's about $1,600, so that's not too bad, especially considering that it's got a 36 volt, 10 amp hour lithium ion battery, really nicely positioned there, pretty centrally on the frame for balance, and a 350 watt motor. This is actually an 8-fun, which is pretty well known in Asia. It's a fairly well trusted brand, and a hub motor like this makes it a little bit zippier, but keeps it relatively simple. It doesn't have a mid-drive or anything like that. It's not going to wear out the chain as quickly. And I do love that it offers pedal assist as well as throttle mode. So you really get a lot of options with this bike. And the fact that it's folding, of course, is just convenient, because if you live in a place like this, you gotta, walk up the stairs possibly and store it inside. You might have limited room. Maybe you want to put it in the trunk of your car or something. This is a really good way to go. Now, unfortunately, because the battery is rather large, 360 watts, you can't fly with that. It's over 300 watts. So keep that in mind if you're looking for something to actually travel with. But if you've got an RV or a boat and you can leave it on, well, that's sweet. The fact that the battery is removable is also really handy. So there's this little lever under the seat, flips up, and the battery just slides right up like that. It does lock to the frame, so here's the keyed locking point. One of my complaints about the battery, however, is that you do actually have to sort of switch it on using the key, and then you have to leave the battery in. It doesn't come out. And you can imagine if you had a keychain or something, it could kind of ding on your frame or get tangled up with this brake cable. I see a lot of electric bikes that go this way, and it's just worth mentioning, kind of keeping in mind. There's a little LED battery indicator on it, which is cool. It does only work when the battery is turned on, though. If it's, oh, there we go, good. It kind of, you can see the juice sort of going down. If your key isn't in, the LED doesn't work right. And when you put the key back in, boom, there we go, we get full power reading. So keep that in mind, you don't get fooled. So as far as folding electric bikes go, this one's relatively powerful. The folding mechanisms themselves have a little extra protection, like right here, this is sort of a lock so that the lever doesn't pop out when you're pedaling if it got caught on your pants or something. Basically just got a tightening bolt here, and then as you loosen it, that folds down. I do love that the wires have this really classy looking plastic wrap, and that they sort of run it below the frame here. It just stays out of your way. These zip ties aren't gonna, snag on your pants. But one complaint is there isn't a water bottle cage, and the fact that you have to have wires running around at all. I really haven't seen too many folders that integrate the wires, but that's worth kind of keeping in mind. The frame is aluminum alloy. It's got a nice little aluminum fork here. Quick release on the front, so that's another option as you're folding it up, as you're removing the battery, taking off the wheel. This thing can really get compact in a jiffy. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fold it up, and I'm gonna weigh it and just show you all the different features. Got it, so the bike is 48.6 pounds. To get the battery out, it's actually pretty handy. You just get that little flip up lever right there on the saddle, and then you unlock the battery down there, which I've already done. Flip this up, slide it just like that. So it's pretty cool. It's the 36 10 amp hour battery. Charge on or off the bike, it's pretty handy. Go ahead and put that back on. One complaint about that design, while it is removable, a lot of times when I've just unlocked it like that, I'll start pulling up. What happens is that as I'm pulling up, the key sort of comes into contact with the frame. So try not to do that. You don't want to accidentally bend the key. Okay, so if I was going to fold this up, I think I would start by just loosening the seat post first and slide it all the way down, or you can take it completely off. And then the pedals here, that. Okay. There we go. Kind of a latch with a lock. That's helpful. See if I can. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I went ahead and kicked the kickstand up, and then you can see that little metal piece there. That actually helps to protect the front chainring, so you can set it down, kind of like I'm doing now. There we go. So not bad. You'll notice there doesn't seem to be like a magnetic clasp in between here. You could always use like a bungee cord or whatever and kind of loop the thing around if you wanted to, just to keep it from rattling too much more. It's pretty small. And then there's the last lever. And that's it. It is fully folded. Again, you know, bringing in a bungee cord or something can help to just keep it really tight like that. This does come in this handsome sort of racing green, British racing green, and the leather sort of, I don't know, like faux leather saddle here that's brown, and these nice stitched ergonomic grips. It's really comfortable, and the levers too are nice. These are sort of the upgraded Tektros. I haven't seen silver ones like this before. The little rubber grip just feels good, and they've got the kind of the motor inhibitor built in, so when you pull on the brake, not only does it activate these sort of basic rim brakes, V-brakes, but it's also sending a signal to the motor to stop, which is important because this bike is a pedal assist. So, you know, you can see these magnets, there's 12 of them, which is kind of the most I've seen. It's pretty smooth and consistent, you know, as your cranks are going around. That's what tells the motor to turn on or turn off. But you can also override that with throttle mode. So there's a little trigger throttle right here. Now, unfortunately, there isn't a throttle-only mode. You just sort of end up overriding pedal assist, you know, and it works. It's fine. I like that there's this really extra big front ring, and then it's got this nice little plastic guide. It just helps to keep your pants from getting greasy, and it also keeps the chain on track. I mentioned earlier that this has, you know, a pretty powerful motor for a little folding bike. The bike still does weigh about 48 pounds, so it's not like super light or anything, but one of the big advantages of a smaller wheel like this, it's 20 by 1.75 and it's a Kenda wheel. One of the benefits of a smaller wheel is that you get a mechanical advantage. So this motor actually performs at a higher level. You can climb even better than if the wheel was, you know, 26-inch or 700C, as we see on some of the other Blix bikes. So that's just one little thing to keep in mind. And they've got this nice little mounting point right here that you could possibly modify a rack or fenders, but it doesn't come stock with those. There's another point right here for a front fender. Sometimes it's hard to find, you know, 20-inch fenders. Maybe you could do like a seat post rack, like a beam rack in the back, but it's not really that utilitarian from the get-go. And again, you're at that about $1,600 price point. One thing they do sell as an aftermarket accessory is a bag, so you can fold this up and then pop it into like a carry bag and throw that over your shoulder or whatever. Just keep it cleaner when you're storing it. So that's kind of nice. I think that's most of the specs there. I love that they've got a little integrated LED light on the front with a reflector, and that it's powered by the main battery pack, so you don't actually have to power it separately. In fact, the bike is on right now. I'm going to go ahead and power up the display. You can see the little LEDs come into life. It starts in just like high power mode, but if you hold the mode button, then you can select between low, medium, and high, which is, you know, nice. I actually like to ride in low or medium because it's pretty peppy. The top speed advertised on this is about 15.5 miles, but it feels a little faster than that at times. Go ahead and turn on that LED light on the front. There we go, super bright. And maybe hop on. I got the saddle all adjusted. These nice springs in the back. You know, the one thing this doesn't have is a suspension fork, but the tires are a little bit wider. That might help, you know, if you don't overinflate those. But don't let them get too low, because then you can get a pinch flat. And we've got 7-speed cassette in the rear, Shimano Alivio, so there's enough room there to have a good cadence on, you know, your slow or your fast ride styles. Okay, hop on. Whew. And note that as soon as you turn it on, you know, you're in pedal assist mode, so anytime you pedal, that sensor is going to be reading you and you're going to be getting a little boost. Don't let that surprise you. There we go. So again, in low mode, it's nice. It just gives you a little boost, and then it sort of cuts out. It's not overpowering me. I can reach the buttons here fairly easily while riding. I'm going to go ahead and take it up to medium. And there's a nice hill over here, so I'm going to go to high and try to throttle my way up this hill without pedaling. Okay, there's the hill. It's straining a little bit, but we're making it, you know? I'm gonna let this car pass me up. Okay, so we're about halfway up the hill, and you can see, you know, it's not a small hill. You know, this is pretty intense. I only weigh 135 pounds, so it's not a lot for the bike, but it's neat to see it actually carrying me, no problem. So let's start halfway. This is a real strain test. There we go, no problem. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, didn't even have to use pedal assist and we're topping this hill. Whew. Wow, not bad at all. So, and this frame only comes in one size. It's a little bit heavier. The folding is a little bit more basic, but you know, it gets the job done for sure. Definitely neat to see these guys entering the market, bringing their experience from Scandinavia countries where they started again back in 2006. And yeah, for the full write-up on this with pictures and specs and stuff, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com.